Hello, everybody. Welcome to my channel, anybody that might tune in. My name is Chris Wood. I live near Napanee, Ontario, and I am a 5-year revenge retaliation victim of Lennox and Addington, Ontario Provincial Police. I am a victim of injuring, torturing, stalking, false arrest refusals, medical treatment refusals, discrimination, lies, time buying, cover ups, kidnapping, sex assaults, body mutilations. My mother was stalked and killed. Two of my dogs were killed. I spoke O.P.P crimes, human trafficking, human sex trade, slavery trafficking. As a result, in August of 2019, ex-O.P.P chief drove a white Jeep Wrangler, drove by me, corner of Bridge and Center Street. He waved at me. I waved back. When I waved back, black truck pulled up beside him. I believe it was Staff Sergeant, another cop, pointed they pointed something and they shot something into my ear. I started having problems after that. O.P.P who are involved in human trafficking, human sex trade, slavery trafficking, torture crimes, slave trafficking. O.P.P ex-chief or commander, year 2019, like I said, drove the white Jeep Wrangler. Staff sergeants, years 2019, 2021, kidnapping and sodomy, sex assault. Shannon Cork, Robert Lucas, Dave Weiss. Stacy, a mental health worker, was Napanee Daily Tea Company, now Kingston AMHS. A Shelley Hafner or a Huffner, who is guilty of kidnapping me May 27, 2021, done under false pretenses in an attempt to shut me up so I would not be talking about what I've been talking about, showing what I've been showing, and proving what I've been proving, by whom, how, and why. There is also one Spencer Mills, 14716, Robert Kane, 7224. They are very seriously dangerous cops. They are threats and dangers to society. They are guilty of murders and attempted murders. There is also the Justice of the Peace, who is guilty of obstructions, accusations. The two mental health workers, like I said, doctors, Dr. Margie V, aka Tatiana V, name and file falsifier from Lennox and Addington County General Hospital, and medical blacklister, the one that assured this crime, girlfriend to Stacy, the mental health worker. Dr. Joy Hadley, Dr. Barton, Dr. Pritchard, Dr. McGregor, Dr. Waldron, Dr. Sue, Dr. Mbimbola, Dr. Fardell. Triage nurses Terry, Tanya, and David are all criminally and negligently involved in co-committing and covering up O.P.P crimes, and their drug-fed, money-paid bosses who are co-offenders and accomplices in drug trafficking and murders with and for the police. And they're doing it for drugs, free money, and drop charges. One, known as Bill Woldridge, lives at 149 Center Street, North Napanee, Ontario. Now bald, glasses, approximately 70 years old, believes that he is me, thinks that we were switched at birth. He was stalking my mother. He is guilty of murdering my mother. He was stalking my mother, calling my mother mom before he killed her with one Blair Hardy, who is the boss and boyfriend to many dangerous cops, which I named the boss and leader of the Hardy Boys. He used to drive a Mercedes in Napanee. He is a drug trafficker. He's guilty of financial thefts and frauds, identity thefts and frauds. He's guilty of rapes and multiple murders. Jason Gimpy, two-step Benalstein, who is guilty of identity theft, who is guilty of murders, drug lacing, and attempted murder on me. Tyler Teabag Lake, guilty of attempted murder, guilty of killing my dog Runt in 2023 with one Ray LeBlanc, who is a child groomer and a meth trafficker with him for OPP Robert Kane. There is also a Burt Hustler, a Robert Berry. There is one Dale Hartwick who is aiding OPP for drop charges now for a stabbing he committed, who is guilty of attempted murder and is also my cousin. One Anthony Axel Rose Hearns, Anthony Tony Axel Rose Hearns, who is a redhead, long red hair. He is a speedhead and he is also involved and guilty of attempted murder, aiding his boyfriend Dale Hartwick. These are all OPP drug fed, money paid accomplices. They are untouchable. $22,000 to have them arrested. I've been trying for 5 years, so I am asking for human rights backing in every way, shape, or form. I am asking for human rights backing for the crimes that are taking place upon me and others. How people are disappearing, how the murdered and missing are happening is through the police. Identity thefts, torture crimes, doctors are involved in covering up their crimes and being human trafficked across Canada and murdered as well. And it is being covered up. Lies about being suicidal, lies about drugs, so they can use those narratives against their victims when they are torturing them and when they are finally murdered, so they can use it as drug overdoses or suicides. And a lot of it is not true. This is how they're getting away with a lot of this shit. Poor, homeless, elderly, disabled are their targets. I am also the end of my bloodline. I have been seriously skull deformed. I get hypoxia on a daily basis. My right lung has been completely and totally destroyed. My kidneys have been destroyed. My skull has been completely and totally deformed in serious, serious ways, which I have shown and proven while not being able to get any help, being called a delusional, hallucinating retard from criminal doctors who are criminally and negligently involved and above the law. I am not going to be another victim of OPP. I am not going to be another framing victim. They are false arresting their victims to get their prints, pictures, signatures, and everything else they need for forgeries, framings, and frauds against their victims. Their false arrests, their kidnapping, their sex assaults, their lies surrounding hands on guns to prevent anything legal on them or anyone else. Whether this is seen or not, these cops named are very seriously dangerous and they are guilty of murders and attempted murders with and for these pieces of shit that are co-accomplices and cannot be touched. This guy's name is Dale Hartwick. This is my cousin. He is the one that's involved in aiding OPP for drop charges and guilty of stabbing his wife's boyfriend. Now a rat informant and guilty of attempted murder with intent to commit for OPP. This is Jason Gimpy Two-Step Van Alstyne. He is Robert Kane, crack-fed crackhead, and he is guilty of multiple murders. He's guilty of my identity theft. He's a stroke victim, but he's also very seriously dangerous as well. This is the one known as Bill Wooldridge. He is also allegedly Hells Angels Ontario chapter captain, approximately 70 years old, bald glasses, sometimes a goatee. He goes by many aliases: Robert Cross, James Bubbles, Stephen Maben, Harry Potter, Bill Wooldridge, Bill Cooldridge, Bill Delarosable are many aliases he uses. He is a child stalking pedophile for ex-OPP chief, the one that drives the white Jeep Wrangler that had me shot in August of 2019 before he left. What has taken place with me is how OPP are trafficking, framing, and murdering their victims and getting away with it. This is one Ray LeBlanc. He is a child groomer, drug trafficker, and guilty of attempted murder, and also guilty of murdering my dog in 2023 with Tyler Lake. There's another picture of Bill Woldridge, the one from 149 Center Street North, that thinks that he is me and my dad and Harry Potter as well. He used to stalk children at Tim Hortons for OPP ex-chief. I get numbed down on a daily basis. I go through serious changes. My face, my skull on a daily basis. I have tubes coming up from my throat all the time that goes from my lung up through my throat and into the back of my head. I get air pumped through my head all the time, completely and totally deforming my face, my skull. I do not see anything out of my right eye. I am pretty much blind now out of my right eye, worse than ever from being damaged. No matter how much proof you have of crimes, once OPP and Stacy cast their lies at the hospitals, 3 of them I've been medically denied from. Once they cast their lies, you're pretty well fucked. You will not get any help. Your legal, medical, and human rights will be taken, and this is why I am asking for human rights backing, because of the crimes and atrocities and pretty much terrorism that has taken place against victims. While police are hiding behind their badges and doctors are hiding behind their credentials, using these pieces of shit, ex-inmates and junkies, and then $22,000 extortion. That's Bill Woldridge and the one known as Blair Frederick Gerbler Hardy. He is the leader of the Hardy Boys gang. He is a meth trafficker, a meth head. He's guilty of rapes, welfare disability frauds, pension frauds, insurance frauds, and multiple murders for the OPP. He used to drive a Mercedes in Napanee. There is also a Robert Berry who is involved. He is a truck driver as well. He's bald, glasses, crowbar mustache. This is Tyler T. Bag Lake, the guy that the piece of shit punk that murdered my dog. And he's guilty of attempted murder on me for OPP. Robert Kane 7224. He is a well-known rat informant. Accomplices with him for OPP. So congratulations, Timebot, after blaming me for all your crimes with 100% proof of how the fuck could I be involved in doing it. Lies about being a suicidal self-harmer, lies about drugs, lies of a long criminal and psychological record and history, and none of it is true in any way, shape, or form. I had no association to any cops named prior because I had no criminal record. It's because of me speaking of their crimes, and this is why I became a victim. And I have been completely and totally mutilated. I have been totally and completely changed. I look nothing like I used to, and I can 100% prove it. This is how much changes I've been through, how much deforming I've been through. My skull being completely and totally split into sections. while being called a delusional, hallucinating retard by hospitals and doctors because of the lies against me. Cops that need to be arrested: Spencer Mills 14716, Robert Keane 7224, Shannon Cork, ex-chief or commander year 2019-2020, or the ex-chief or commander year 2019, staff sergeants years 2019-2021, Robert Lucas, Dave Weiss, Stacy, the mental health worker. She is very seriously dangerous now. AMHS in Kingston, and Shelley Hafner or Huffner. Robert Keane 7224, Spencer Mills 14716. The criminal doctors that are criminally and negligently involved in co-committing and covering up their crimes with intent is why OPP are so successful with their crimes, plus using these pieces of shit garbage who they cannot and will not touch. Good luck trying to get arrests, trying to save your life, trying to save your identity, or trying to save your bloodline in Napanee, Ontario, because it will not happen. It will not happen. And I have and can prove it. Like I said, this is how families, this is how people are disappearing, this is how the murder to missing is happening, this is how OPP are framing their victims. The ones that are disappearing, it is through the police. Next time they put out a wanted picture, I would definitely check and make sure that they are not harboring them like they are for one Bill Wooldridge, or the one known as Bill Wooldridge, because he also uses a Stephen Mabin, who is a wanted harbored inmate or is a wanted inmate, would also explain why he needs his identity theft. The ones doing this to me are crack-fed, meth-fed pieces of shit who are delusional junkies, and this is why OPP cannot and will not touch them. They can implicate, and they are the ones that are committing the murders for them. I am Chris Wood, and I am a 5-year revenge, full physical identity theft victim, and this is how OPP are causing the murder to missing and disappearing and killing their victims and covering it up. And yes, the doctors are criminally and negligently involved. Even patient relations at the hospital and ex-CEO Covey Duck are also criminally and negligently involved in co-committing and covering up their crimes. There's a lot of people. The rabbit hole in Napanee, Ontario with these criminals is seriously deep. I just want it to be known because of what's been done to me and not being able to get any help. Damage is done, time is bought, full physical identity theft, full skull splitting. I no longer have feeling on this right side of my head. So you're guilty of murders, you're guilty of my full physical identity theft, and attempted murder, all done with intent to commit for revenge retaliation. Another reason why human rights needs to be in Napanee. Another reason why I'm asking for the human rights backing, because what's been done to me, this is finished and nothing I can do about it. Time's bought. All through a bunch of inbred, low-life pieces of shit junkies of Lennox and Addington, Napanee, Ontario Provincial Police accomplices, accusing me of doing this to myself through criminal doctors, labeling me a lot of untrue things without even not knowing me. Prior to August of 2019, I had not been to a hospital or a doctor in almost 10 years. And then all this shit began. As a matter of fact, Spencer Mills 14716 is in possession of my original CAT scans from 2019. I was given fake ones. So he is also in possession of my medical files as well. Beware, people. I hope you like what you see, Jason Van Alstyne, and the rest of you garbage. Tyler LACGH, you're lucky I can't get anybody arrested. You're lucky that this is a legal revenge retaliation crime, because that's what it is. You speak police crimes and expect to be killed, expect to be tortured and expect them to get away with it and cover it up, especially if you are poor, homeless, or disabled. This is a hate crime as well.